Good afternoon. Time to have a look at market news now. Stocks in Asia were mixed after major indexes on Wall Street rose to record closing highs stateside. Japanese stocks led gains regionally as the Nikkei jumped 1.7% and mainland Chinese stocks closed lower. Looking at the European markets, they were higher as positive corporate earnings offered a tailwind to global markets. Again, US side, we have stock futures that are cautiously higher at this point in early pre-market trade as investors await a fresh round of major technology earnings. Tech giants Alphabet and Microsoft are due to report after the closing bell. To talk to us about Q3 earnings in the US and how that's playing out, we are joined by Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers. Makwe, thank you so much for your time. Let's tap in here in terms of local and global market sentiment. I mean, how are you reading things right now?
Good afternoon to you. Everything seems to be very positive. The sentiments are positive, and it's all because of the corporate earnings that we're getting from the US, which have been very positive. And that has helped to outweigh the concerns that we've just seen when it comes to China's property sector, as we have seen another developer defaulting the bond. And I think, yes, it will continue to be on our nerves as investors. Situation that we can see, we've got this above trend inflation and below trend economic growth. And that itself is starting to stoke fears that maybe we might be in a situation where we'll be heading to stagflation, or probably the monetary policy might have made some errors. And we've also seen the yields been down slightly, and all because of the worries about inflation and all because of these worries about the economic growth. And hey, yesterday the US, the Chinese government, they had a telephone call, and unfortunately the guys are still struggling to make some headway when it comes to trade issues.
Right. So locally, I suppose the key thing that stood out for me was Sibanye-Stillwater saying that they are going to acquire Santa Rica nickel mine and the Sorota copper mine in Brazil. I'm curious about Sibanye-Stillwater. Has the market managed to warm up to this particular stock? And if not, what is the market looking to see in order for that to change?
You know, yesterday we got some sense announcement and then about them talking about to their funders about the deal, you know, the $1 billion deal. So yes, we saw the stock closing down just over 5%. Today it's up nicely 3%. And I think Sibanye is one stock to be reckoned with, you know. I mean, remember 10 years back or so, I mean, this is a company just started as a small gold miner, then it became a very serious platinum player. And now they're moving into the most relevant minerals, which gets to be used when it comes to electric vehicles. So they stand to be doing well, and I don't think I'll be surprised, Nastasha, if at some point Sibanye decides to list or have a secondary listing overseas as well to try to tap those markets that side as well. But yes, we are warming up to Sibanye, and anyway, Neil Freeman has done a very good job, and probably he will be going soon. And so far, the guy has done a sterling job.
All right, so let's talk about US Q3 earnings. I mean, what's your take so far? Are there any clouds that you're seeing in the horizon, any inflation concerns?
So far, there's nothing, because if you look at S&P, almost 117 companies have reported, and 84% thereof have managed to do well. And investors or analysts expect to see at least a 35% growth this year. The problem here will be next year, that we'll still be able to see those kind of earnings growth that we've been seeing since July 2020. And chances are no, because we see some serious bottlenecks when it comes to supply chain. We see some serious issues when it comes to labor shortages and also inflation.
So we have Elon Musk, and this is a fun one. His net worth is currently sitting at $289 billion. South Africa's GDP is sitting at $302 billion as a result of COVID. I'm sure you're wondering, at what point does Elon Musk surpass South Africa's GDP?
You know, anything is possible. To think that just on a single day, which was yesterday, the guy made almost 525 billion rands, you know, just on a single day, when the stock price moved up by almost 12% and is now part of the $1 trillion market cap companies. And it's possible, and it's very interesting, because this is a South African born businessman, and it just shows you that 2 or 3 richest people, definitely their worth is far more than that of the country itself. And you wonder, what is it that needs to be done, you know, to make sure that those people, they start plowing back, they start making sure that that money gets to develop those kind of countries where they operate. But yeah, you compare that to our GDP. Our GDP, unfortunately, is not doing as great as Elon Musk is doing.
All right, before I let you go, quick one. Would you be buying Tesla shares if you could?
Not today. Maybe I might wait for some pullbacks. We know it went up because of that nice deal that they had from Hertz, car hire, to order that 100,000 vehicles. So we expect some pullbacks going forward. Then yes, it's worth getting involved into.
All right, Makwe, thank you so much for your time. That is Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers talking to us about what he's thinking of Q3 earnings and whether some of the concerns are filtering through with this quarter's numbers or maybe perhaps in the fourth quarter. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more news for you.